Welcome to Wednesday night OWCP Chats live in Melbourne, Florida at Dr. David Dorfman's office.
Is it Melbourne or Melbourne?
Well, I guess it depends where you're from.
Melbourne? Melbourne.
Not somebody asked me
I said
today
Melbourne.
because
No.
I put Melbourne. Now I'm saying it funny.
Yeah, we're not in Australia.
We're not in
folks.
Australia. We're here in Florida. So tonight we're going to have a Q&A. We're going to have Dr. Dorfman help and answer some questions. And if there's any medical questions, Dr. Dorfman
He's like, wait,
will
I'm
be-
going to answer questions?
Dr. Dorfman will be answering them. So let's do some housekeeping, and then we're just going to do Q&A. Don't forget to share. And housekeeping time.
Yeah, so we're really excited to be here in Melbourne, Florida. This is the east coast of Florida. It is south of Daytona, north of Fort Lauderdale, and like, 30, 40 minutes from Orlando?
Yes,
Dr. Dorfman's over there, so I'm looking at him.
that's what we're looking at.
So we're not far from Orlando, and I'm saying all that to say, look, if you're in Orlando, you can come here.
Yes.
If you're in Brevard County, you should come here. And due to no fault of Dr. Dorfman, I had the wrong phone number on the website on federalinjurycenters.com, and so people were calling Pensacola.
Sorry.
Sorry, that was my fault. So we changed that yesterday. So if you're in Brevard County or within an hour, of Melbourne, you need to go to federalinjurycenters.com, check the locations tab, scroll down to Florida, then scroll down to Melbourne, and now the correct phone number is there. And when you call that number, there's a better than zero chance they're going to know what you're talking about.
And I know there was about 13 of you that sent me messages and calls on Monday. So Dr. Dorfman can definitely see you here in Melbourne if you're willing to drive. And it's not that big of a deal, drive from Orlando to here, because it's going to be so worth it to have a doctor who can refer you out to an MRI, an orthopedic surgeon, and get all your treatment done here and then head back home. Because you have up to 4 hours once your case gets accepted to do your treatment. So it'll be worth it.
Yeah, and like all the other offices at Federal Injury Centers, this office is staffed with medical doctor, nurse practitioner, chiropractors, and support staff, case manager. So you're going to get the same high level of treatment, high level performance that you're used to anywhere else, and in strict contrast with anybody else that you might go to in the area who can't even spell OWCP.
So what we're going to do, we're going to bring on our guest, and then we're just going to go ahead and you guys can blow up our Facebook and ask away all these messages. So
but before that, somebody like probably 100 people tonight are going to want to ask the question, do you have an office in my area? The answer to your question is at www.federalinjurycenters.com. At the top of the page is a red button that says locations. If you click that, I assure you, you can see the locations that we have. And it's alphabetical by state, and then underneath each state is alphabetical by city. There's a lot of them in Florida, but scroll down again to the M's to get to Melbourne to find Dr. Dorfman's location.
yeah, and one last thing, I wanted to welcome the newest franchises. We have Federal Injury Centers of Kansas City,
Kansas City, Missouri.
Federal Injury Centers of Edison, New Jersey, and Federal Injury Centers of Jacksonville, Florida. So we got 3 more out there for you guys. So if you're looking for the information, you can go on the post or you can go on our website and find the new locations.
And Dr. McLaren in Jacksonville actually has 3 locations he's bringing on. So shortly, it won't just be 1, it'll be 3 in Jacksonville, because I don't know if anybody knows this, but by landmass, Jacksonville is the largest city in the country by square miles. So it's spread out quite a bit, and we're going to put extra offices in Jacksonville.
Yeah, so let's get some hearts and let's welcome Dr. David Dorfman. We have live audience.
Yeah.
Oh, and before we start talking to Dr. Dorfman, we want to introduce you to his other doctor, Dr. Libby, who's in the Titusville office.
Get in here. That's Dr. Libby. So Dr. Dorfman and Dr. Libby have Titusville, Florida, and Melbourne, Florida. Titusville is half an hour north of here?
Yeah.
Along the East Coast, north, between here and St. Augustine, Daytona? Daytona.
An equal hour distance between both of them.
So if you're in Daytona, you don't have an office unless you go to Titusville. So if you're in that area, there's help there too. And their correct phone number is now on the website as well. So how about that? You can contact Dr. Libby or Dr. Dorfman by calling the correct phone numbers that I've given you.
Make sure you guys call her all day tomorrow. Get in Orlando.
Don't go see Dr. Libby unless you want to have the time of your life.
Oh, Lisa Weimer said, my case was approved Friday. Awesome. Yeah. Congratulations.
So we like approved cases. Last year, we had over 1,120 approved claims for federal injury centers. This year, we're going to have over 3,000. And, we're well on our way. The first 2 months, we're just crushing it. And if you like denied claims, go someplace else because we don't do that.
Yeah. So everybody, this is Dr. David Dorfman. You want to
Give me a little more. Show everybody that pretty face.
Yeah, this is our pretty face doctor.
This is interesting. We're on a computer.
Yeah.
Our entire people are in front of us on a computer.
Yeah.
Thousands of people watching.
Doesn't
Yeah.
seem like it.
Right.
So I'll tell you in advance, on top of being one of the doctors in the franchise, Dr. Dorfman and I are actually really good friends as well. So if we're bouncing off each other like we're college kids, that's probably the reason why.
College kids.
Yeah, college kids.
College, it's been a long time.
Yeah. Feels like yesterday. So, I want you to be able to meet Dr. Dorfman. I'm struggling to not call you Dave the whole time, but Dr. Dorfman. And so I'm going to ask him some questions. He's going to answer. And we're going to play Stump Dr. Dorfman, see what happens. Just kidding. No.
Stumped already.
So I really want you to tell everyone, why are you doing this? Because, let me preface that. The rest of you, we get complaints all the time. Why do you have a doctor in my area? You don't care about us in Nebraska, Iowa. I care about you very much. But what most people don't realize is that for every one of you that says yes to me, there's like 100 that say no. And I'm going to talk to a guy Friday. I'm expecting him to say no. I just expect no. But this guy said yes. His office is fully trained, fully staffed, fully equipped. And it's beautiful. It's first class. He could do anything else, and you were doing everything else before. But you said yes to this. Why'd you do that?
Because nobody else wants to help them.
That's right.
And I do.
Look, simple. Nobody else wants to help you, and he does. And he means it. Like every time he and I talk, you're taking notes.
Yeah.
And like 5 minutes later, he's already doing what we talked about. All in, right?
Absolutely.
So how many people have you been able to help so far?
Oh, wow. 20, 30,
What are
40.
So what stuff are they telling you? So you have a federal employee that comes in. What are you learning? What are they saying? What are their complaints?
That their claims aren't getting paid.
And they're denied, right?
They're
Because
denied.
they're denied, right?
Correct.
And so out there, if you're on Facebook watching, you can put a bunch of angry faces. If you're somebody who's had a denied claim, you know what we're talking about. Nationwide, 1 out of 7 people has an accepted claim. Okay. That means 6 out of 7 people don't. But those numbers, I think, are skewed because they don't take into account all the people who refuse or who just are scared to report their injuries. And you have people coming in, probably injuries that were denied for years, right?
Yes.
You were just telling me about somebody who had, a 5-year-old case?
Yeah, talk
Correct.
about that.
Correct. A patient of ours told me today that he has a friend working there who for over 5 years has not had an approved case.
Gosh. Who out there has had a claim that's not approved for years? Okay, a bunch of other angry faces is all that makes sense here. And we're used to that. When you start here, you're brand new, and in this area, who's competing with you? Who else is trying to help these people here? Nobody. And that means everybody has suffered through, their family practice doc, some surgeon, another chiropractor who doesn't know OWCP, and the VA doctors.
Yeah.
And, they're just going and just hoping for the best, but hope is not a strategy. I say it all the time, that's not a strategy. The only real strategy that makes sense for a federal employee is to come here.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, I'm biased because we have a great system, but what do? We get claims accepted.
Yes.
And so you're doing that.
Yeah.
Real quick, I don't know why I'm trying to share, and I normally have like 87 places that I share to, and it is telling me that I overshared.
Oh,
So
here's the reason why that is.
why.
Because if we take all of you, so we're looking at, probably tonight, tens of thousands of people watching, and all of you combined are sharing less than she does, which means you can all just hit the share button and help her out because she wants to share to your friends, your coworkers, but.
And I can't. For some odd reason, it's not allowing me to share tonight.
So Facebook has blocked her because they think she's spamming.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, but she's not spamming. She's helping. So can you all just please do us a favor, hit the share button because you have a coworker at work that wishes they knew about us. I'm looking at at this this poster that Dave has, or Dr. Dorfman has over here. I wish I would have known about you sooner, said someone you know. And that's true. Someone you know wishes they would have known about us sooner. So you can help them and tell them that there's help, because otherwise they're going to be like you were 2 years ago when you had never heard of this before and you wish you would have known. Somebody there's probably dozens of people right now that have said to me at one point or another, gosh, I wish I would have known you 2 years ago. Well, don't let that be your friend. You have a coworker that wishes they knew about us now. So just hit the share button. It's simple. And if it takes you away from this page, guess what? I ain't going anywhere. We'll still be here. Dr. Libby used to be standing right there.
Yes.
So this is not an open house, but we will have an open house hopefully by the end of the year. But we got to get you guys in here. You got 2 great doctors to help you in the Orlando, Melbourne, Daytona area. What else? Kissimmee, right?
Yeah, St. Cloud.
St. Cloud.
Port St. Lucie,
Port St. Lucie.
How far is Port St. Lucie from here?
an hour.
Okay, so those of you that are in Port St. Lucie, you can come here.
The thing is, this is a really big office, and it's going to take a whole bunch of you for this thing to get filled up. And it's first class. It's beautiful from front to back, top to bottom. So you won't be disappointed. I've been to places that are like their therapy is a sandbox. It's crazy. You can't even believe the stuff that we've seen. But this is a first class place. You got to come, and claims accepted doesn't suck.
Dr. Cooper said Sarojini got OWCP share blocked. LOL. I got blocked. God, nobody wants us to do OWCP.
Yeah, so you got to share because they're going to block her. She shares so much. Rodney said just share. Thank you. It's easy. Yeah. Really appreciate that, Rodney.
All right, so we're going to get some questions answered here. So tonight we're doing Q&A, so send all your questions. Belinda said, years ago, I hurt my back at the post office and my claim was denied for going to a chiropractor. So can we go to one now?
What do you think?
Absolutely.
So what is your specialty?
Chiropractor.
How in the hell are you doing this as a chiropractor?
Because we're licensed to do the physical therapy.
Right, and you have who else working for you?
A nurse practitioner and medical doctor.
That's right. So this is the issue. You go to your chiropractor and you can't go there. Okay, you can go there for therapy, but the reason it's a problem is because that chiropractor is not integrated with medical. At Dr. Dorfman's offices, along with Dr. Libby, they have a medical doctor and nurse practitioner who do all the evaluations and sign off on everything. And that's what's required. And that's why most chiropractors get claims denied, because they don't have an integrated medical staff. All the federal injury centers offices are integrated with medical. You can't do OWCP compliantly without medical. So you can come here. It's a chiropractic office, but the medical doctor and the nurse practitioner are here as well.
Monica Guzman said, I'm a current patient of Dr. Adkins. Is that you?
Yeah, Monica, just so you know, Dr. Libby and I were talking about you tonight, and we solved your problem. You can call Dr. Libby tomorrow, and she'll tell you all about it. Okay, good. So we figured it out, and we solved your problem.
Mary Harp said, what happens if I'm removed from service, TSA, because I'm unable to fulfill my duties? How do I get my OWCP payments to continue? And when I go to my work comp doctor, do I need to bring a CA-17? How does it work? I'm lost and I haven't gotten answers from my claims examiner.
Okay, so maybe it's Mary, Miss Harp. Okay, so first of all, your claim has to be approved. If it's not approved, your agency actually can fire you. And we hate that. I think it's wrong, but they can do it. So we got to get your claim approved. Once it's approved, they have to accept your CA-17. So when I go to my workers' comp doctor, do I need a CA-17? Absolutely. So take one from your supervisor with side A already filled out. That's critically important. If you bring it to us without side A filled out, we're going to turn it over on its side. Supervisors, if you're listening, just listen to this. We're going to turn that 17 onto the side, and it's side A with a black Sharpie. We're going to write supervisor refused, and we're turning that in because that's your problem now, not ours. We got to do our job, so we're going to do it. But you got to get that claim accepted. If it's not,
it is. She says it's approved.
They didn't fire. Okay, that's good.
Over 1 year.
Okay, so as long as you're out with the CA-17, you're protected. But your doctor's going to have to write a disability narrative explaining why you're out medically. But my recommendation is go back to work as soon as humanly possible, even with restrictions, because as long as you're at work, they're going to find work for you. And if not, they send you home, and then they have to pay you.
It's already been 1 year deep in with OWCP.
Yeah.
So what help do you need? Just message us after.
Yeah, we're happy to help. There's almost nothing you can tell us that we don't know how to
I don't know
fix.
why I'm not going to call my questions on my phone. Tanya said, my CE told me today that they don't look at CA-17s. They only read narratives. Why does it say DOL at the top of the page?
Okay, so Tanya, and by the way, hello. Tell Nino we said hi. You turn it in. The doctor turns it in because the doctors have to bill for a CA-17 also. It's a billable service. Doctors turn that in. But you want a record of that in e-comp. That's why we send it to the claims examiner. We send it with our documentation and billing. Now you've got it on your case file. But who really needs it is your supervisor, so that they can do what they got to do as a result.
Yeah, that's it so far.
Oh, geez.
Yeah.
So go ahead and ask us some more questions, because in a minute I ain't gonna say anything if you don't ask. No, I'll still say some stuff. Okay. I wasn't prepared to put him on the spot with a bunch of stuff.
Well, let's put him on the spot. Let's make him bright red.
Go ahead. I'm gonna get bright red.
I like red. Tan, red.
Did you want to come say something? Did you have stuff to say to any of the federal employees? Come around this way. Tell them why you're doing this, Dr. Libby. Not because
Maybe
of
he always
Ozzy.
has something to say.
Okay.
I always, it's true.
You want to sit here?
Yeah. So, Monica, hi. When you come into my office, one of the things that we'll always do is giggle. What you're going through is stressful. It sucks. I'm here to try and help kind of take the edge off. And if you all talk to Monica, you'll know if there's something that goes missing or awry, I'm going to light a fire and we're going to get it done.
Yeah.
So just understand, I think the hardest thing with all this is the paperwork. And I don't think anybody understands how much this paperwork is a pain in the butt. And just let us know if you don't have something, and we'll go hunt it down. That's what we're good at. That's what they are good at. They help me with that a lot.
And you can all quote Dr. Libby as saying paperwork is a pain in the ass. She
Yes.
said it out loud. I heard it.
Yeah.
I did.
And that's actually real. That's true. That's why so many doctors don't want to help. You guys are filling out your CA-16s when you guys bring them.
Mhm.
You fill out 16, you fill out
Mhm.
17, you fill out CA-20. You write the disability narratives, you write the narrative reports. And in Titusville, you're actually involved in the evaluation process for new patients.
Yeah.
It's not just the medical team. You actually have a team approach that's medical chiropractic. You do the evaluation yourself.
Yeah, we work together. And it's those of you that have gone to other chiropractors, there's nothing wrong with them. But because OWCP is structured in such a certain way, think Medicare, that's why they're structured this way. We have to work in conjunction with the medical doctors. So it can be, for the other chiropractors, it can be a little bit frustrating, but it's a new era that we're going into. The more that we work together, the better it's going to be for everybody involved. So just kind of understand that. And the problem with it all, like we said, is that paperwork. But as long as you're getting us your information, that's number one. If you get sent anything, make sure you're bringing it into us. We scan it in our computer, we get it uploaded, and then we can kind of detective it and figure out what you're missing, what didn't get done, and then we can get that done for you. And I think that's the hardest thing, is that, we have that team of people, even me, myself, I'll go through it and we'll figure out what's wrong and what's missing. And from there, that's where we can help you. So it's so goofy, but it really is this paperwork. As long as we get it, we can hold our little finger. No. This says here, da, 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 da. And then they have no other choice but to accept this because we've got it right here.
So what she just said is other chiropractors suck. Don't go there.
In short terms.
We love our other brethren.
But this is true. I mean, you actually go through all the paperwork yourself. You review the entire case yourself. You know exactly what to do based on what you see.
Right.
And let's say somebody doesn't bring everything in, you know what's not there.
I know it's not there.
Right. So we tell them to go get that and bring it back.
Right.
How much money do you and Dr. Dorfman charge to these federal patients?
What? We charge them?
Oh, you don't.
We don't.
So that's just a rhetorical question. Obviously, we all know. When you go to federal injury centers, there's no charge. You go to any other doctor, they're going to ask for your health insurance and copays if they don't just ask you to pay out of your pocket. Here, we work for free if we don't do a good job. We bill Department of Labor like we're supposed to. That's the rules. But we never bill you no matter what. And even if like we do a really bad job, we work for free. It never costs you anything ever.
It's true.
So it's really important that you understand. I mean, so many people are frustrated because, you know, they can't afford the doctor. And even if they could, the doctor doesn't know what they're doing.
Yeah.
So here you can afford it because it's free. And our doctors are trained. They know what they're looking for and how to write the narratives and how to get your case accepted. You've gotten cases accepted before.
Yeah.
See? I mean, that's what we do. Like
Yeah,
I said,
yeah.
1,120 plus accepted claims last year. And some of them were here, you know, and in Titusville. So if you're in this area, in these, you know, surrounding counties, come here. Really don't suffer with denied claims. We're playing a lot. I play a lot. I'm joking all the time. But this is not a joking matter. Like, you go where it's best for you. And it's not in your interest to have to pay money out of your pocket, lose your benefits, and not, you know, lose your job and not have access to a scheduled award later. That's not fair.
Dr. Libby, what's your advice for those people that just give up because it's so much paperwork and the therapy and just doing this whole process? What's your advice for them?
It's frustrating. Totally understand that. And I think, honestly, I think this kind of harkens back to a little bit of, yes, the paperwork is frustrating, but also I think for the longest time, if you had any kind of shoulder injury, neck injury, low back, knee, whatever, you went to your doctor and they said, here, take 2 of these, ibuprofen, whatever it was, call me in the morning. And that's not the case. It's frustrating when you get injured because this is what I always tell my patients. Imagine this, you're in the middle of the night, you get up to go to the bathroom and you have stubbed your toe on the dresser. You don't walk away like, I just stubbed my toe.
Oh, you're pissed.
You are doing your Homer Simpson.
Who put that dresser there?
You are limping. You're like, oh God, I'm dying. We have, because your body's going to conform to the pain. What we do and what takes a long time is teaching your body how to unconform to that pain. So it takes some time. And that's what takes the multiple visits into the office. And constantly standing there, okay, I'm doing my exercises, and it takes doing that repeatedly to retrain the muscles. And sometimes it takes more than the time that you and I both think it does. And because every person is different. So don't give up. I always say, I'm going to name drop people. I go and watch all these big guys playing football. Look at The Rock.
Oh.
Look how this guy's huge. He's always lifting. I love it. He puts on his Instagram, he says, oh, there are a lot of guys stronger than you. And he's like lifting.
I like to see him stomp his toe, though.
I know, right?
And you're probably like a baby.
So exactly. And he'll tell you, I've had countless surgeries, repairs to shoulders, knees, low back, whatever it was. But he still gets out there and does it. He still gets out there and do all kinds of different exercises. But and that's the hard part, is that you have to continue to do that. But I'm telling you, when you do it, you're going to feel so much better. And it's the silly, and that's how I always tell my patients, it's the silly little exercises that will get you farther.
Mm-hmm.
And they help so much. And I will tell every single one of my patients, Monica, when she's out there, she'll tell you, what's good for the goose is good for the gander. I will do them with you, because just as much as you need them, I probably need them too.
Yeah.
But, you know, as far as the giving up part, my answer is much simpler. Don't do it.
Just don't. Yeah.
Never give up. Listen, you're going to hear in the next few weeks, you're going to hear about Scott. You're going to hear about Tammy. You want to talk about not giving up. Never give up. Tanya, never give up. You've all heard my story of Gilbert, who was hurt 8 years before I met him. Never give up.
Yeah.
You know, if you don't give up, we won't give up. And as long as you don't give up, you're probably going to win. The only way you don't win is you have an illegitimate claim. It's not a real thing, which we never see. But I have to say that because, you know, you guys are not stupid. And you understand that your retirement benefits are fantastic. So you're not screwing with the system. But, you know, don't do that. And the other thing is don't miss your deadlines. As long as you don't miss deadlines, there's always a fighting chance. But I even can tell you of a time where someone missed a deadline, not their fault, but we still found a way.
Yeah.
Within
minutes.
And we'll talk about Scott, because that's
Yeah.
Scott, and it's maybe the most important case of my lifetime, and certainly of his. So you just don't give up. If you ever give up, it's over. Because as long as you don't, we won't. We'll always be here. We'll never quit. If you quit, we won't have a choice. What are we going to do? With no patient, there's no nothing. So you just don't quit ever.
Yeah, we understand you go without pay. You're about to lose everything. Just don't give up. Reach out
And that
to
sucks.
anybody.
Like, as you say that, I'm thinking, okay, I'm
Yeah.
going without pay. I'm going to lose my job. Everyone's against me. Why not give up? Because it's your life.
Yeah.
And it can get worse. God forbid. But whatever comes next after giving up is probably worse. So just don't do it.
Yeah, especially the part where everybody is scared to file their claim because of their supervisor. Remember, it's your health, not theirs. Right? Coming from a doctor as well.
True. We are here to be your cheerleaders. They are awesome cheerleaders.
Thank you.
Awesome. And us too.
Yes.
That's what we're here for.
But,
Because without all of us,
We can't.
you
help
guys
you.
don't get better.
But we had 1,120 plus accepted claims last year, on the way to 3,000 this year, and none of that happens without you.
Yep.
So thank you, Dr.
You're
Dave.
welcome.
Thank you. So we're going to let you two go, and we're going to answer questions for the rest of the hour.
Unless
Thank
you
you.
just wanna answer questions.
Everyone's loving on Dr.
Dorfman.
Libby here.
Oh,
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you got a lot of bunch.
All right. So this is all right. For the rest of this, we're doing Q&A for the next half an hour. So you ask and we answer. And if you ask something that's not OWCP, expect an answer that you're not going to like.
All right. So Boss Sal said, when you get sent to a second opinion doctor, does a second opinion doctor carry more weight than my provider?
The CCOP doctor carries more weight to the extent that their medical report is better than your doctor's. They're going to weigh the evidence and say whichever evidence we like better, we're going to go with. So make sure your doctor's doing a great job.
This is an interesting name, Roaring Wind Farm. How are you, Roaring Wind Farm?
What's up?
He said, or she said, do all claimants need a why you were off narrative to get a CA7 approved?
Yeah, so we call that a disability narrative. This is a report your medical doctor writes that explains medically why you had to be out of work. Because, the MD wrote your CA17 duty status report that took you off of work, but the claims examiners want to know why they took you off of work. Like, well, I got a broken leg and I have to walk 10 miles a day. Not good enough. So yeah, they definitely need that to get paid. If you don't include that, usually they'll send you a denial letter.
Yeah. Hey, Rich. Rich is on.
What's up?
I was like,
Sorry. I was reading. So, okay, Rich.
Stop reading the questions before.
Rich is our friend in Staten Island. I
He's a
love
letter
Rich.
carrier president.
I love Rich. He's an NALC president in Staten Island, and he and I talk all the time, helping out his carriers. And nobody is more all in and loves his members more than Rich loves
he
his
does.
members. So, hello, Rich.
Staying Focused asked, explain how ECOMP works for employees, supervisors, and OWCP.
Hey,
Good question.
That's
a great question.
that's the question of the year.
Yeah.
I mean, we're in February, but that's the question of the year. And so ECOMP is simple to sign up. You just go to ecomp.dol.gov. You put in, your demographics. It's on one page and submit. You've got an account. From there, everything you do in OWCP is uploaded to ECOMP. All your doctors upload things to ECOMP. They got to have your name, date of birth, and case number. They can upload documents to ECOMP. And your supervisors, when you upload things like CA1s and CA2s and CA7s to get paid, the supervisors receive an email, and they're required through that email to fill out their portion of the CA1, 2, and 7 and other things. So ECOMP is there to gather documentation for your claims examiner to review, to organize everything, and so that you can go back and access everything. Since the inception of ECOMP, supervisors have been less able to lose your documents in the trash can. So I think that's just one of the many reasons ECOMP is awesome.
Yeah. Victoria Miles said, I just started my case. I was wondering, what is the process if you get terminated in the process of your claim?
Okay, so that's a union issue. You're going to have to get with your union and have them fight for you. I've seen people get fired and get their job back. I've seen people get fired, get their job back, and get paid for the time they were off.
Yeah.
They shouldn't do it, but it happens because some supervisors are jerks And as you all know, if you've watched me even once, you've heard me say that your supervisors, and if you're a supervisor here and you love us and we love you too, I'm not talking to you when I say that supervisors are either dumb or they're playing dumb. So that's why you have unions, though. So you got to have your union fight for you.
Mike Joseph said, if you have a schedule award payment pending and a surgery pending approval, can they wait on surgery to happen first and then pay you less as your condition has approved because of surgery? Or do they have to pay you first on that schedule award?
Okay, that's a loaded question. Who asked that? Mike. So in order to be eligible for a schedule award, you've got to be at maximum medical improvement. If your doctor has said surgery can make you better, I don't see how you can be at MMI because you can still get better. So, all the rest of that stuff, the answer really is, are you at MMI? Because if you're not, then you should wait to get your MMI rating and just get better. Now, you can say no to surgery, and you're automatically at MMI at that point, and you can get your schedule award, and maybe later you get surgery. But I'm just telling you, to get a schedule award, you've got to be at MMI first, maximum medical improvement. And if surgery can make you better and you're going to do surgery, I don't think you're at MMI. But again, I'm not a doctor, and I'm not your doctor, so talk to your doctor about that.
Belinda Peterson said, Lord, we need more doctors like her. She actually understands.
That's right.
So sweet.
So yeah. I'll never forget the first time I ever talked to Dr. Libby was on the phone. And she and I were in a hotel room.
Yeah, we were somewhere.
We were on the east coast of Florida. I think we were about to go do some union talk.
Probably Pennsylvania.
I don't remember where I was, but she and I talked for the first time, and she was running a case past me. And normally when I'm talking to a new doctor that knew, like we just newly trained, I have to like answer questions and stuff. But she had me on the phone just to tell me what she was going to do. And at the end, like, it was basically like, right? I was like, yeah, that's kind of right. And that was my first interaction.
She knows her stuff.
We couldn't agree more.
So again, if those of you that are in the Orlando area, Daytona, Port St. Lucie, Titusville, Melbourne, and Titusville, you can reach out to them and they'll be able to help you.
Or it's no problem if you just want to go get a denial someplace else. It's no big deal.
You can go hang out with Dr. Libby. She's fun. Ms. Wiseman said, I'm currently trying to get into the new Jacksonville office. I'm at the point where I've been denied reconsideration. Once I'm able to get an appointment to get a new narrative and I'm using my own sick leave, or is there any different way to enter my absence without having to use my sick leave? And once my case is finally approved, do I have to use my own leave then? Okay,
so here's the deal. I'm assuming your claim's not approved yet, but once it's approved, you use LWOP with a CA7, leave without pay. You can leave without pay. You don't have to use sick and annual leave. You can just decide not to get paid. But right now, without your claim being accepted, sick and annual leave is going to be the way to get paid. And then you can always go and do leave buyback later. That's not free. It's leave buyback, B-U-Y. Like you got to pay something to get it back. But you can just do leave without pay, fill out a CA7, and when your claim gets accepted, go back and get paid for that time.
Hey, Judy. Judy says,
What's up, Judy?
What if second opinion going second time denies your surgery after my claim has been approved?
Okay, so I'm not sure why a second opinion doctor would deny surgery because it's either medically necessary or not. But if a second opinion doctor denies your surgery, you go back to your treating physician and have your treating physician write the best narrative of all time explaining why surgery is medically necessary, and you comp that.
Yeah. James Edwards said, I'm on my second remand back to the claims examiner for the same issue. Why did the appeal people make the decision instead of sending the claim back to the examiner who already is clearly biased?
So there's no way for us to answer that without reading the letter that came as a result of your appeal. Without reading that, there's no way I could answer that intelligently. I've seen things be remanded before, but it's all different cases. I'd be happy to tell you if you want to send that letter, that you got after the appeal, you can send it to us. I'd be happy to look at it for you.
Michelle says, does second opinion doctors rule over what your FCE says from your doctor? Is it sedentary work available in the post office?
Is sedentary work available in the post office? It depends on your craft. It depends on what's available in the post office right now. But yes, I have seen people go back to work with sedentary restrictions.
Real quick, if you guys noticed, there's a bunch of our doctors. Was because we want to get all the questions answered tonight, and we're live here in Melbourne. So if you see them, everybody's on there. Federal Injury Centers of whatever city, they're on here. And a shout out to also Federal Injury Centers of Homestead, Florida.
Yeah, right there,
Dr.
South Miami.
Bressler. Yes. So those are our 4 newest locations. I've listed them. When later tonight, I will list Dr. Bressler's information as well.
So among other places, if you're in the Florida Keys and you're like, man, talk about being in an island by yourself.
Now you have somebody.
Seriously, on an island alone.
Yeah.
You just drive up to Homestead and you get help.
Barbara, you said you need to speak to me or message me. You were referred by Land O'Lakes Dr. K. Just message me and I'll go ahead and answer that tomorrow.
Always happy to help, Barbara.
Rich Ray said, believe me when I tell everyone New York City had denied cases after case. And then I found Gini and Chris. Then Elevated Health was born from Federal Injury Centers. Now we have approval after approval. You got nothing to lose if you give Federal Injury Centers a chance. I know, trust me, I know no one had more carriers that fell victim to OWCP denials. Now New York City has a place to go thanks to Gini and Chris.
Rich, we really appreciate that. The thing is, Rich is a nice guy. He's just a nice guy. Actually, the nicest guy I've ever met. And that was a really nice thing for you to say, Rich. But truthfully, from the first day I met Rich Ray, was by Zoom, by the way. We did like
we
did like a 3-hour Zoom call until midnight one night.
We were doing steward training.
And I promised him that we would help, and he and I have been like this ever since, helping carriers in New York just the best we can.
Yeah.
So, and he's specifically in Staten Island. Rich, I got a secret for you. There's a Staten Island office coming soon.
And Rich, if you didn't hear, there's a Federal Injury Centers of Edison, New Jersey on there. So if you know those folks down there, you can send them down that way.
But did you hear me say there's a Staten Island office coming soon?
Uh-oh, Rich.
We'll talk later.
Yeah. Carolyn McDaniel said, I just got back from Bremerton Wellness to help with my denied claim. I traveled almost 400 miles one way. See, this is somebody that went out of her way to do this. They emailed me the new narrative papers and a 5C. Once I got it uploaded to eComp, will the new person reviewing my claim get notified there's new paperwork? The whole staff at Bremerton Wellness are fantastic and will be going back to get carpal tunnel evaluation.
Yeah, hey, I'm really happy to hear.
Great comment.
That Dr. Audra and the staff up there is doing a good job. So thank you to the Bremerton office, Bremerton, Washington State. To answer your question, everything you e-comp, the claims examiner is notified that there's something new in there and they look at it. They're required to review everything that's e-comp.
Damaris said, I've been waiting 5 weeks for OWCP to schedule my IME appointment for me. Does it usually take this long? Torn rotator cuff, still not approved after a year and a half. Now I'm retired.
Okay, so does it usually take that long? There's really not a usually for that. Unfortunately, there's no rules for it either. So they can take as long as they need to take. Call your claim examiner or write a letter to your claims examiner. If you call the claims examiner and it's a voicemail, leave a message, because now they're required to transcribe all messages into a document that claims examiners are required to review. So don't just hang up, leave a message.
Yeah. Jennifer Wood said, the lack of not knowing what to do and the paperwork is so confusing to understand. Well, we're here to help you for that.
Yeah, we
I
understand.
think work comp wants you to give up.
Don't give up.
I've been denied twice so far, and they haven't looked at my claim in the past 2 months. I've already had surgery, but lost all my AL and SL. Didn't get the 45-day COP. What's next? What is next to get approved? I was off work for 4 months.
Wow. Okay, so there's like a serious question at the end of that. Where's Angelique at? Sorry, folks, I'm going to reread that. This happens sometimes because, I'm pretty good at this, but sometimes I'm not that smart. The lack of not knowing what to do. So far, and they have past 2 months. I've already had surgery. Didn't get the 45 days CP. What's next to get approved? I was off for 4 months. Okay, so look, you have to get everything approved. I think work comp wants you to give up. Don't give up. I've been denied twice so far. I mean, look, there's a lot of people get denied a lot. Don't give up. They haven't looked at my claim in the past 2 months. You can always write them a letter and say, hey, you want to look at this? And then they have to review the voicemail, right? Because they transcribe it. You've had surgery but lost your annual leave, sick leave, and you didn't get your COP. So we'll talk about that in a second. So You'll get your annual leave and sick leave back when your claim gets accepted. What is next to get approved? Your doctor's got to get your claim approved. Forget everything else. I mean, don't forget because it's all important. But Jennifer, if you don't get your claim approved, nothing is ever going to happen with your claim.
Yeah.
So make sure your doctor writes a killer narrative. And if your doctor can't do it, fine with mine because we can. But as far as the COP goes, I'm going to just use this as a teaching point. For everyone else, you can't have COP if you don't file your CA1 claims within 30 days. Too many people just rub some dirt on it and hope it gets better. But what happens is you start missing deadlines. You don't get a CA16 because you wait 7 days, and you don't get COP because you wait 30 days. So don't wait at all. Report your injury right away, like immediately, right now, so you don't lose your benefits.
Yeah, and you guys always remember that it's not OWCP that's screwing you over, as some of you mention it. It's just a lot of the doctors are not fully trained in this, and they really don't know what to provide in these narratives. We had somebody call us and said, I went to the ER, I uploaded my consultation, the notes you get from the ER, and she says, I got denied. And I'm like, you never even filed your claim. So she had no clue. This is why we keep telling you guys, come tell your friends about this page so we can help.
Yeah.
Call the 877 number. Call any one of our locations. It doesn't matter where you're at. Even if you want some advice, maybe I won't get to your message or your phone call right away. Call any of the offices and the case manager will help you. Rich Ray said, please never be scared of management.
Yeah.
We hear this nationwide every time we go to a union convention.
That's right.
Every single time. What's the number one reason they're scared to file claims? And the stewards in the room and the locals say they're scared of management.
And the thing is, like, the vast majority of you are in the unions. Too many of you don't participate, don't even know who your union reps are. So definitely start participating. If you're not in the union, I suggest being in it because, that's who's in your corner. There's a lot of things that I can tell you to do, but I can't do it for you. There's a line I can't cross. I'm with the doctors. You got to go be with your union, and there's strength there. There's a lot of strength. And some of you are going to say, yeah, not mine. Okay, maybe, but just go talk to someone else. Climb the ladder. Somebody in your union cares a lot and wants to help you.
Yeah.
So get involved with your union. That is the best thing you can do to help yourself with management.
Yeah. Erica said, thank you for helping me get in touch with Dr. Dorfman. You're simply the best. You're welcome.
You're
I
very
know
welcome.
you had a problem with the phone number. That was our fault.
Yeah, I did that.
Yeah.
Sorry.
That was his fault, not mine.
Yeah, honestly.
Let's
It's like the
see.
first mistake I made in, 5 years or 50. I don't even know, but I made that one.
Demira said, oh, wow, I'll talk to my caseworker, and he just realized the nearest IME is 6 hours away.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, they'll pay your mileage, but that sucks. Ask for a plane ticket.
No, we don't know any doctors in California that does the 6th edition impairment. So
Not yet,
what
but-
you need to do is message me either here on Wednesday Night Chats or my personal page, and I will get you in touch with somebody that will help with the schedule award. Irene said, hi, sorry, we're late. Federal Injury Center is 1,000 Oaks. Okay. Hey, guys.
There we go. So we have a Thousand Oaks office, Redondo Beach office, and the newest one is Newport Beach, all Southern California. So if you're in California, you got 3 options now. Prior to this, there were 0.
Rich Ray said, NALC members who are in probation and get terminated because they filed an OWCP claim, file a whistleblower complaint with OSHA. You can find all this information on NALC.org.
Or call 1-800-321-OSHA.
You have rights. Use it. Carriers not on probation who is dealing with management that is doing the wrong things. Go to your steward, branch officers, your NBA. You have help. Don't give up. Seriously,
That's right.
This is a local president talking from NALC. So what he's saying is absolutely true.
Yeah.
Listen
to Rich. He knows what he's talking about.
Victoria Miles said, what is an IME?
Independent medical exam. So they'll send you to another doctor to check you out.
When do you start the podcast and what's the name? So we're actually, we were going to tell you guys at the end, we will actually be on vacation for the next 2 weeks, starting next Wednesday. So sometime in March, we'll probably start that. And I don't know, did you pick a name for the podcast yet?
Yeah.
Oh, they want to know.
Breaking OWCP.
Oh.
Yeah, it is. So you all have, not all of you, many of you, thousands of you have read the books, breakingowcp.com. And so the point of that book was to sort of reverse the tide. Like, OWCP breaks you. You all know it. Okay, if you've dealt with it, you know. That's what it does. It just crushes you. So I wrote a book to sort of turn that around so that you could know what to do to beat the system. Okay. And so my podcast is going to be Breaking OWCP. It's going to be the Breaking OWCP podcast.
Yeah.
And it's going to start after the beginning of March. I've got all the equipment. I'm all set up. I've talked to my consultant, Mike Fox, if Mike is on here. What's up? I talked to
Ron.
to Ron Speakman. I got Rich on the brain right now. And between Ron and Mike Fox, they've been really, really accelerating my learning on how to do a podcast.
Yeah. I'm going to answer Debbie McCall's question and then also elaborate on that. She said she had 2 denied claims. Now, any one of you that are going to any of our offices and any of the franchises, wherever in the United States, you don't have to message me, even if you get 1, 2, 3, 4 denials. Please call the case manager in the office and let them know. Unfortunately, I don't have access to your records. You've got to call them because they have to be the ones.
But if you call the case manager in the office and they don't help you,
then let me know.
Yeah, because we don't. That's not okay, and we'll help. Can I just say, Rich Ray said that he wants to be on, and absolutely don't tempt me with a good time, Rich. We'll get you scheduled.
Royce said, I just had a second opinion where the OWC doctor made me TTD. Does that mean it's temporary disability?
Temporary total disability. He's just saying, he or she, the doctor, is saying for right now, you just can't work.
Miss Rosa said, by the way, it's not only management that you have to contend with when filing on the job injury. We understand.
Your coworkers are sometimes against you. Sometimes unions are against you. Not often, but sometimes. Yeah, I know it's a problem. Not to mention your own personal circumstances, because now you may be off of work, and who's going to pay your bills?
Yeah,
I get that.
Julie said, what happens after a claim is accepted and I'm having total knee replacement and I drive over an hour and a half to get to my FIC for PT? Can I go somewhere closer to me after surgery for PT to get me back to work?
Of course. So nobody is handcuffed to a Federal Injury Center's office. We want what's best for you, and we care about you before we care about anything else. So if you find some place that is closer that you can get therapy, that is your right to do it, and we're not mad at you.
Oh, no. And if you get any type of pushback from anybody in the office, just please let us know. We'll make sure it's taken care of, because you have the right to choose where you want to go.
Yep, we respect that right.
Jennifer said, thank you for replying. I told my boss about my shoulder injury the day it happened. She didn't know what to do for me, COP-wise. I have been working with FIC of McKinney, Texas for a few months now. They are helping me more than anyone else has. I will send DOL a message tomorrow.
Awesome. Yeah, and we have offices in McKinney, Bedford, and Dallas, Texas, and San Antonio. So if you're in Texas, be sure and check them out. They're fantastic.
I know a lot of you have been asking me about Houston. We're working on it.
Yeah, we're working on it. And I saw Dr. Snowden's here. He's in Oklahoma City. And Dr. Snowden's great, too. He's a killer. Listen, he's new with us, but he's not new in helping patients. So if you're in Oklahoma City, go check out Dr. Snowden. He's getting it done.
I know when I always list all of our newest franchise locations and everybody's like, what about Michigan?
What about me? What about me? We're coming.
We're coming. You have to remember, and I had to explain this to somebody last week by a phone call. It is not us. It is the doctor.
Like I said in the beginning, Dr. Dorfman said yes, and another 100 people said no.
Dr. Libby said it's the paperwork. It's a lot of paperwork. The right doctor has to be able to want to do this. And the doctors that we have in our franchise actually care about taking care with all the paperwork. It's not easy, guys. So be patient as Joe still fills up the United States with doctors. Lisa said, about how much of annual leave and sick leave do you get back after a claim is approved? It will be 3 years in April. And can I go back on physical therapy and doctor appointments I've had for mileage pay? Thank you.
Yeah, you can always get your mileage back up to 100 miles round trip. Anything more than that, you'll have to get authorization from the claims examiner first. And but the first part of that is how much of the annual leave and sick leave do you get back? So you need to go and get a form CA7B. It's basically a worksheet that'll give that answer to you. So get a 7B and fill that out. The only way to really be precise about that is for you to fill out the CA7B.
Barbara said, I printed out both CA1s and the person handling my case, not the case examiner, but the ones at USPS, tells me yesterday and again today that I haven't filed my case and I'm not an e-comp. Funny thing, I'm looking at both printouts with supervisor's electronic signature. Filed end of December, still no letter or packet from DOL.
Okay, so if you, and I'm not saying you didn't, but I'm just talking myself through this. If you filled out your CA1 on econ, I heard you say you printed it out. Hopefully you printed it after you completed it and after your supervisor completed it. If you've got a printout that shows signatures from you and the supervisor, you're all set, because I'm assuming you printed it from econ, which means your claims examiner has it as well. If you're wondering what's up next, you got to call your claims examiner, because they should send you a letter in the mail saying at least, we have your claim for compensation, right? Or your claim for traumatic injury, or your claim for occupational disease. Just call them up and see what's going on there.
Kevin Andrews said, does a second opinions doctor report override the FCE from the patient, what the patient's doctor states?
I mean, it can. It doesn't necessarily automatically. It's sometimes yes, sometimes no. What they do is they take the second opinion doctor, their information, and they weigh it like in a scale, okay, against your treating physician's information. And whichever one they like more gets, is the winner, so to speak, which could make you the loser, which we don't want. So you always want to take it back to your treating physician and tell them to do a better job writing their reports, explaining the situation better.
And if those of you that are going to our offices and you're not hearing anything about your case in months, like Miss Rosa said, call the office just to make sure, maybe they just didn't get to file it or whatever the reason is. Just give them a call. Don't wait months and months at a time like you have been, Miss Rosa.
And I can see Maria said, hello, how do I know if I'm getting paid the correct amount? I've been out since April of 22. Also, how do I know if I'm getting an increase? All right, so you're going to pay the correct amount if you look at the top of the second page of the CA7, and make sure, and I talked about this last week, make sure your claims examiner, your supervisor wrote the correct pay rate and used all your correct, extra pay. Make sure that's all correct, and that's how you know you're getting paid properly. And how do I know if I'm getting an increase? Well, as long as you're out of work, you're going to be stuck at your pre-injury pay.
Nothing else yet so far.
Okay, well, anyways, we're coming up on the end of the hour, and I just want to recap. So earlier we had Dr. Dorfman, Dr. Libby here. They're in Melbourne and Titusville, Florida, on the east coast of Florida, below Daytona, above Fort Lauderdale, along I-95. And if you're in Brevard County or whatever
Osceola
County, all the way up to Daytona and all the way over to Orlando, I am telling you now, you don't have any other help. This is where you got to go. We're going to try to get offices in those areas so you don't have to go so far to find a doctor. But right now, this is what there is, and they're happy to help. They're waiting on you. So if you need help in this area, go to federalinjurycenters.com and check the locations tab. Remember, go to Florida, scroll down to Melbourne, Titusville, and their individual office phone numbers are there. You don't have to call us and ask. Just call those numbers. They're going to help you. They have a trained case manager that's going to do a complete intake. Make sure you have all the documentation you need so that when you come in and see the doctors can efficiently review your case, write a great narrative, and get your claim accepted. They'll also write your CA-17s to take you out of work as needed. I always say the surest way to get paid is to go to work and clock in. And so we definitely want you to be able to do that, is to be able to go back and clock in. Let your supervisor send you home. You don't want your doctor sending you home. Let your supervisor send you home. That way you get paid for sure. And so they're going to write your narratives. They're going to fill out your CA forms, and they're going to make sure that you get better. They're going to write prescriptions for therapy, oversee your therapy. They're going to send you for imaging, other X-rays, nerve testing, whatever you need. They've got somebody that's going to work with them to work with you. And most importantly, they know exactly what to do to get your claim accepted because they've been trained by this guy. So Dr. Libby's like, that's right. So if you're in this area, give them a call. Don't suffer, don't struggle, and don't fear losing your job. Just come over here and let them help you.
Debbie McCall said, how many reconsideration appeals can you do?
Oh, I love that question. Infinite. Like, just keep counting and never miss the 12-month reconsideration deadline, and you can just keep doing it. Now, what we want is for you to just win. So number one is to win on your first case. I just saw that a study where 85% of CA1 claims were approved the first pass and something like 20-something% of CA2s. We don't have that same CA2 experience where only 20-something% are approved. We get them all approved like they're CA1s. because there's a way to write those narratives. There's a way to do the evaluation and write the reports to make it happen. So we're going to get a very, very high percentage of these claims approved the first time. But if it gets denied, or if you come to us and your claim is already denied, you have 12 months from every denial to do a reconsideration. As long as you get it in within 12 months, you can do an infinite number of reconsiderations. And if you do that and never give up, we won't give up and we will eventually win.
Belinda said, so how long do you have to wait to file the paperwork for your vacation and sick leave while you're out?
You file it like right away. Like, let's say that you're out on LWOP, right? Because you're hurt and you can't work, but you also want to take vacation. So all you do is you shift your pay from LWOP or COP, whatever you're on, to annual leave and go on vacation.
Jean Allison, you said you got injured on the job on 7/15/21. You still have time to file your claim. You have 3 years to file your claim from the date it happened.
Yeah, and don't let your supervisors tell you it's 30 days or 2 weeks or
It's
3
not.
weeks or 3 months. You have 3 years to file a claim. On a CA2, you have 3 years from the date you knew it was work related. So it's not too late.
Yeah.
It's not too late. Go to Ecom, get an account, and file your claim.
Lonnie Duke said, if someone has plenty of leave on the books, is there any reason to buy back the leave that was used for appointments?
That's a personal decision. I wouldn't even begin to advise you because that's your money and your time. Fill out the CA7B and see if it's worth it for you.
Gloria said, fabulous. Dr. Cooper got my case expansion approved. Awesome. On the right foot and ankle.
Yep.
Left foot ankle received DOL letter asking for more info. Same letter used that got the right side approved. Just change right and left. How do I handle?
I want to see that report. It's hard for me to answer that question it's hard for me to answer that based on that question. There's not enough information, but send us a private message and I'm gonna look at it personally. I'd like to take a look at it.
Well, Dr. Cooper just said, we met with you today. We got this. So you guys just have to ask the doctor.
Yeah, especially Dr. Cooper definitely knows what's happening. And he knows everything there is to know about that case. I don't know anything to talk about that.
Ron, go ahead. You want to
Ron says, if you all remember last week, special guest Ron Speakman, imagine how much money the post office would save if they did the paperwork right the first time. That's called efficiency. Don't accuse them of that.
Yeah.
Grievances, overtime, filling positions of those that quit or get fired. The list goes on. He said stupid advisors. Love that word. Who coined the term stupid advisor?
Jennifer. She's a retired AFGE VA president. When we met her one day, she says, "Stupid advisors. I need a cup that says that."
And Ron said, "It's right. It's free to do the right thing.
Yes.
Just do the right thing." That's exactly right.
All right. So let's see. Jean said, "I got on work comp. They're offering. I refused. It is wise to file for is advised to file for disability retirement."
Is it wise to file disability retirement? Again, that is a personal decision. Disability retirement, you get 60% of your income in the first year, 40% every year thereafter. That's a personal decision that I would not even begin to try to advise you on. You just have to decide what's best for you.
All right. So if there's any more questions, I'll read them. But so for the next 2 weeks, we are going on vacation finally. And we were just talking about this yesterday to somebody. All of the employees always go on vacation during the year. We save our vacation for the either end of the year, Thanksgiving, Christmas, or December, January, February, because we want to be in the snow.
Yeah, well, we want to be in the snow. That's her reason.
I want to go back home.
But the other thing is most of you are working like extreme overtime during the holidays. So while all of our staff and our doctors and their staff are sort of on vacation while you're like working crazy overtime, we're still here because you still need the help. But now everyone's finished with their vacation. We got our 1,100 claims approved last year. Now we're going to go on our vacation. But while we're on vacation, you can probably guess how much vacation I'll actually get. She's going to be really mad at me because I can't turn this off. And that's good. And that's okay. But we'll still be, we'll check in. We'll do some live videos here and there. You'll see what we're doing. But, anytime I'm away for that long, it's funny. It's like being away from my dog. I love my dog. I hate being away from Wednesday night chats. It really bothers me. Anytime we're away for more than a couple of weeks,
not allowed.
It bugs me. So I don't want that. But we'll check in. We'll let you know what's going on. But we will be out for a couple of weeks starting a week from today. We'll be back March 2nd, and then we'll start Wednesday night chats back up again for the rest of the year.
Christine Miller said, "Can you pick up a part-time job while on work comp? Is it within your current restrictions?"
It needs to be within your restrictions completely. Assume there's somebody taking pictures of you and videoing you at all times. So if you do anything outside of your restrictions at the second job, they're going to shut you down. And that's very scary. So just take care of yourself there.
Thank you guys for having a great vacation. Just so you guys know, there's some new people on here, just recurring people. For this year, I'd like to get to 20,000. So if you ever see that I invited you, it's because it makes you go so you could follow. And the reason we tell you to do that is because when we do posts about new offices coming on, which you guys are always asking for, or any important information, it'll pop up on your notification. So we are on Facebook, we are on LinkedIn, we are on TikTok under Gini Helms, we are on Instagram, and we are on YouTube. So there's everything you can find us on. And then we're going to be working a little bit more with our app. So if you have the app, you'll be able to see us like that too. So
Terry Dudley said, "How can providers partner with your organization?" Okay, so doctors don't. Okay, yes, they
Yeah.
partner with us. They can join the franchise by calling 877-787-OWCP.
that's me.
She will get the call and transfer it to Joe. Joe is in charge of new doctor recruitment, and he'll go through the process. Like I said, I got somebody on Friday. I'm not going to say where they are because somebody's going to be mad if they end up saying no to me. But Joe's on vacation right now,
Yeah.
and so I'm doing Joe's stuff. So I'm going to be recruiting doctors on Friday. We'll see what happens when he comes back. Anybody you send to us, we'll send to him and see what happens.
If you guys know of a doctor that wants to do this, here's what happens because you guys say, "I'm going to this doctor and he was asking me about this whole work comp thing." You got to get the doctor's cell phone number and email address, and they have to know or set up a time that Joe can call, because what a lot of you will do is give us a number, Joe will call, and the provider has no clue what he's talking about. So, I know you guys try to want the doctor to be on with us, but they don't want to.
So I'm going to end with this question. Michelle asked, "What if you're retired and they offer you a job and you don't accept? Will you lose your benefits?" That's actually a good question. Here's the issue. Retirement for federal employees, federal disability retirement, is through the Office of Personnel Management. That's not an OWCP thing. So although you may have a work injury that caused you to have to go on that, you don't have to be injured at work to have disability as a federal employee. I'm not 100% sure about the answer because it's not just strictly OWCP. However, if you really, really want information on that, message Gini and she'll get you in touch with Eric Blowers. Eric is our lawyer. He's your friend and our friend. Among other things, he specializes in federal disability, and he can answer that question. Any of his staff can answer that question, and they won't charge you for the phone call. So let Gini know if you want some help. And there's Tammy Newman. I'm going to give Tammy a big round of applause. She got her shoulder case accepted and surgery. I'm hoping you had surgery and hoping you're feeling good, Tammy. And say hi to Scott and Dave.
So our website is www.federalinjurycenters.com. There's a big red button that says locations. Click that and find any of the locations that you want to know where they're at. If you don't see your city and state there, it will come soon.
Yep.
If you need to get in contact with me, the phone number is 877-787-OWCP.
6927.
What else? If you're looking to buy the book, any of the books, volume 1, 2, or 3, PDF, or what is it, softcover or paperback, it is breakingowcp.com. You could do that.
Now, I'm going out of town Wednesday. Anybody that wants me to mail a book, please get your order in before Tuesday.
Yeah.
Because I do all the packaging and shipping myself. And so for 2 weeks, there won't be any packaging or shipping, and I hate for you to wait for your books.
Yeah.
So if you want one, please go ahead and order it, and I'll get it in the mail like the next day. But probably by next Tuesday, I'll be done going to the mailbox.
Yeah, and a lot of you have a big problem with somehow when you get the PDF, it goes away. So I'm going to have Chris explain that, and then we're just going to be done.
Yeah, so I want you to put Breaking OWCP in your pocket. Okay, that's the end goal for me, is so that you have it right here on your phone. Okay.
Yeah.
So putting it in your pocket means downloading it to your phone, because everybody puts their phone in their pocket. But even though my books are small in size, they won't fit in your pocket. So to put Breaking OWCP in your pocket, you download the PDF to your phone. Now, when you're downloading it, most people will end one step short, because you go through your payment information, all your demographics, and you go click done. But there's one more button that you have to click to actually download the book. And so if you're not able to download the book, you're going to send us a message saying, hey, what the heck? Is this a scam or whatever? And it's not, okay? It just means like you forgot to click the last thing, and I will email the books to you. But to save yourself the hassle of having to tell me that you weren't able to download it, don't leave the page until you've got the PDF in front of you and you're looking at it. Because the last step will be download, and you'll actually be able to see the book. If you can't see it, it's not going to get sent to you later on, okay? When you want to download the book, don't leave the page until you have the book in front of you on your screen, and then save it, okay? That's how you know you're finished, because my downloads are like instant.
Yeah.
If you went, I wonder when it's going to be here, you missed that last step, okay?
You can get the PDF while we're gone, and if you want to buy the book, you can. Just let us know. And then
the PDF doesn't require me to ship it; it's automatic.
And then we have the cutest little girl that wanted to come say hi to everybody live on Facebook. Where is she? We got to go get her. Again, the phone number 877-787-OWCP. For locations, www.federalinjurycenters.com. Click locations. All the offices that I posted this week are on there. And if you want the book, go to breakingowcp.com. And again, we will be gone for 2 weeks. Huh?
She's gone.
Oh, she's gone? Oh, okay. Well, we had my girlfriend's daughter. She's 7 years old, and she wanted to come say hi.
I told her I was going to make her famous, and then she left.
And she left. So
she wasn't in charge. She said.
Next time we'll make sure we get her. Judy said book 4 on vacation. LOL. Judy's pushing for book 4.
I'm thinking about it. It's already finished. Okay, I'm thinking about it.
Yeah. Well, guys, we have had a great start of the year, and we need time to de-stress and recharge in the snow, snowboarding, and whatnot. You'll see us.
So we can hit 3,000.
We will go live. I'll show you the mountains. We'll post pictures on Wednesday night chats, and we look forward. And if you need an adjustment or a chiropractor, you can still come see Dr. Dorfman and Dr. Libby. Remember, Titusville and Melbourne are their locations, and anybody in the surrounding area, Orlando, Port St. Lucie, Daytona, they're here for you.
Don't suffer with a denied claim. Come see us.
Yeah.
Judy, we love you too.
Love you guys too.
All of you. Thank you so much for following. Thanks for being here tonight and watching us, and thanks for Dr. Dorfman, Dr. Libby being here. And obviously they're not used to being on screen, although Dr. Libby could take my place, I think, easily. But we're really happy to have them on board with us. You will be too. They're fully staffed, fully trained, fully equipped, and ready to go. All they need is you.
Yeah. Oh, and I'm not blocked anymore. I had my phone on airplane mode, so that's why I was blocked.
Look, Tish is here.
Tish, we got your T-shirts.
Tish.
And we're gonna have coming after we come back from our vacation, we're gonna have a lot of interviews.
And she's gonna be high on the list. So Tish, we need to be able to interview you. Tish Thomas is a good friend of mine, a good friend of ours, excuse me. She's the AFGE VA president in Florida, and she's running for District 5
MVP,
National Vice President for the union. And we're really excited because she's passionate. She's extremely intelligent, and she is a powerhouse of a union rep, and a human being. So Tish, we love you, and we look forward to interviewing you. So when I call you, please say yes.
Say hi to that guy. And then don't forget, if you want us to come do your union convention, it's a 3-hour OWCP by Chris. All we require is a PowerPoint and a projection TV. We bring books and pens and giveaways. So let me know. My calendar is filling up for the year.
And a special hello to future medical doctor Krishan Prasad.
Dr. Prasad?
Well, you said that, not
me. So we will see you guys back in 2 weeks. Look for our live videos and our pictures.
All right. Good night, everyone.
Bye, everybody.